Today is about constructing triangles. So that means that we're going to learn to draw triangles using angles. But right now, we're first going to talk about what makes a triangle a triangle. Okay, so put your little protractors to the side. We're not going to use them on this little top part. Okay, so it says, in order for a triangle to be formed, the sum, so that means add, the sum of any two sides must be greater than the length of the third side. I know, we're going to talk about that. And I don't like the rest of that. Yep. Okay, so what this means, okay, is that you're going to be given a triangle. So I'm just going to draw a triangle here, okay? Shh. All right. And I'm just going to put some random stuff on here. Okay, now, it says that the sum, what's sum mean? Add. So the sum of any two sides must be greater than the third side. Look up here. So what I'm going to do, put your pencils down and look at the board. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add sides together. Angel, look at the board. We're not doing that right now. Just look at the board, I said. All right, so I'm going to add two sides together, and they must be greater than the third side. Okay, so what is 5 plus 10? 15. Is that greater than that third side? Yes, so that one's good. Then I'm going to add the next two sides together. 7 plus 10 is 17. Is that greater than this side? Yes. And then I'm going to add the other two sides together. So 5 plus 7 is 12. Is that greater than 10? Yes. So since all three sides are greater than the third side, then yes, that's a triangle. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do down here. This is the triangle inequality theorem. So once I add any two sides together, they must be greater than the third side. All right, so number 1 here, it says use the triangle inequality theorem to answer the questions below. So the three line segments have measures. So I'm going to draw a triangle. 13, 7, and 5. Where's my voice here all of a sudden? Okay, so look. I just drew a random triangle. I labeled it. I'm now going to start adding sides together. So look up here. Look at the board. Come on. So I'm going to add sides together. So I'm going to add these two together. So 13 plus 7 is 20. Is that greater than 5? Yeah. So it's greater than the third side. And then I'll do the next one. 13 plus 5. 13 plus 5 is 18. Is that greater than the 7? Yeah. Yes. Then I'm going to add the last two sides together. 7 plus 5 is 7 plus 5 is 12. Is that greater than 13? No. So no, that's not a triangle. Listen, guys. Shh. Right. Once again, what I did. What I did, because we're all screaming, what? I know, but what I did is I'm adding all three sides together. If all of them are bigger than that third side, then yes, it forms a triangle. Even if one is not bigger, then no, it can't form a triangle. So this one right here, it says 3 line segments have measures of 4, 6, and 8. And it doesn't matter what order you put them in. And they want to know, will the segments form a triangle? So I'm going to start adding two sides together at a time. And if they're bigger than the third side, then yes, it's a triangle for all of them. So I'm going to start with the top two. So 4 plus 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. Is that bigger than the third side 8?
Yes.
Yes. Then I'll do the next two. So I'll do 6 plus 8. 6 plus 8 is 14. Is that bigger than 4?
Yes.
Yes. And then I'll do the last two. So 4 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. Is that bigger than the 6?
Yes.
Yes. So all of them are yes. So yes, it's a triangle. So that's called the triangle inequality theorem. All right, now we're going to pick up our protractors. And we are going to use them to draw angles just like I showed you on that other paper. So, in order to construct a triangle, you'll need to be familiar with a ruler and protractor to measure. So it says use the protractor, practice constructing the angles below. So remember, you're going to put the circle on the dot. You're going to make sure your line lines up with the line they have. Okay, there's only one dot.
Oh, the dot is like sealed. Oh, you're talking about oh, there's a dot down here.
We're doing the dot on the bottom that has the line. And we're doing 75 degrees. So I'm going to start over here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So 75 is halfway between 75 and 80. So I'm just going to draw like a little bitty line here showing that that's 75. Draw just a little bitty line there.
I did it.
And then I'm going to take my protractor and I'm going to use the ruler side to draw a line from the line that I drew down to my little point here. So I'll put my pencil here. I'm going to draw a line, and there's 75 degrees. Okay, and you can check it. Look, if you put your protractor back on here, it goes right to 75. All right, let's do 105. Well, Andy, if you look at the board, you'll see if you're doing it right or wrong.
I'm doing it right.
I just don't know how to get into the one.
Okay, so look, I put my circle on my circle, Seamus. Then my line goes on my line. And then I'm starting over here, Seamus. I know that 105 is bigger than 90, so I know I'm going to look over here because 90 is right here. So I know 105 is going to be over here. It's going to be bigger than 90. So 105 is halfway between 100 and 110. So 105 is right here. Shh. So there's 105. I drew my little mark. And then I'm going to turn my protractor and I'm going to connect. All right, and then the last one here, 29. I'm going to put my protractor on my dot. I'm going to line up my line with it. And 29 is just a little bit less than 30. So 29 is going to be right here below 30. So I put my little mark there for 29. It's the one line less than 30. And then I'm going to turn my protractor and I'm going to connect. So we're going to use this on the other side in just a second. We're going to use the same thing. Okay, so keeping going here with the notes, a reminder, and this is something we've been talking about for days, the sum of all three angles in a triangle is always 180. So it says we can determine if the conditions lend themselves to creating one triangle, more than one triangle, or will not create a triangle. So that's what we talked about yesterday. When we added those three degrees together, if they added together and they all equaled 180, then yes, they formed a triangle. If they equaled less than 180, they did not. And if they equaled more than 180, they did not. Okay, so that was yesterday. So moving on to the back here. Triangle construction. So this is where we are going to make our own triangles. All right, and this is very important because I'm going to be honest. This right here, down here at the bottom, this is something you should have already learned last year. Okay, well, I'm just telling you that we are kind of going along. So you've got, if you didn't know how to draw on the protractor, you really need to pay attention big time. Okay, so triangle constructions are similar to constructing angles, but require more steps. Use the steps below to construct a triangle. So step 1 is going to be to start with a beginning point. So what that means is you're going to draw a line segment with 2 little dots on it, okay? Sometimes they're going to tell you how long they want it. Sometimes they're not going to tell you anything about the line segment, and it's up to you to see how long you want to put it. But you always want to draw a line segment first with 2 dots on each end, a dot on each end, okay? Then you're going to use a protractor to draw the biggest angle. So then you're going to use your line segment and the biggest angle to draw first, okay? And that's kind of what we did on the front page where we put our protractor on the dot, lined up the line, and then drew the angle. After that, it says measure the line segment if necessary. Not really a big deal. I don't really care about that step. And then you're going to draw the second angle at the other end point. And you can choose any second angle that you want. So like, you know, a triangle is made up of 3 angles. So you always have to graph the biggest one first, but then out of the other 2, you can pick which one you want to draw with your protractor. And then you can check the angle measures. That's just a check. All right, so I just want us to put our stuff down just for a second. So, and I only want us to look at the board. Okay, so looking up here at the board, pencils and everything down. You don't need anything right now, just to pay attention. So it says, draw a triangle with degrees 80, 50, and 50. Okay, so the first step tells us I can't even move it right, to start with a beginning point. So start with a beginning line segment. So I'm just going to draw a little line segment here. Okay. No, you're just paying attention right now. You're not drawing anything on your paper. You're just looking at the board. You're just looking at the board. So step 1 says to draw a line segment. I drew a line segment. Next, it says use your protractor to draw the biggest angle. So what's the biggest angle out of 80, 50, and 50? 80. So I'm going to take my protractor. I'm going to put the hole on the first dot, and I'm going to line up my line there. We're looking at the board. And I'm going to draw an 80-degree triangle or an 80-degree angle. So there's my 80, and I'm going to connect it. So this is like we did on the other side. Okay. Then I'm going to pick a second angle. Okay. So it's either 50 or 50. So obviously I'm going to choose a 50. So I already did this one. So now I'm going to do this one. So you're going to take your protractor and you're going to put it on the other end point. So I put it on the other end point and I'm going to draw a 50-degree angle. So when you start on the other side, you count from the top. Okay, so like when I start on this side over here, I count it from the bottom. But when I start on the other side, I'm going to count from the top. So I'm going to look for a 50 degrees. So here's 50. Right there, there's 50. And then I'm going to connect that. And then I would be done. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on and we're going to do number 4 together. So number 4 says, use the steps above to construct a triangle with the given constraints. So they tell us on number 4, a triangle with angle measures 45, 45, and 90. So they don't tell us about how long the line segment should be. So I'm just going to draw a little line segment on here. Okay, so everybody draw a little line segment. Now, it says that I'm first going to graph the biggest angle. So 45, 45, 90. Which one is the biggest angle? 90. So I'm going to put it on the left side, and I'm going to line it up here, and I'm going to draw a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to go to 90 and put my little mark here. So I'm waiting for you to keep up with me. You have a pencil? Why wouldn't you ask for one? You clearly saw somebody else ask for one. Huh? So I took my protractor, I put it on here. Here's my 90. And then I took it off and I connected it with my ruler side. What? So I did a 90-degree angle. That's a 90-degree angle right there that I just drew. Then it says the next step, draw the second angle at the other endpoint. So I'm going to take my protractor. I'm going to put the circle on the other endpoint. And I can graph any other point that I want to. Now, they're both 45, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to graph a 45. So since I'm starting on this side, I'm going to count at the top to 45. So 45 is halfway between 40 and 50. So right here is my 45. So I'm just going to kind of extend it off there, and there's my 45. That's halfway between the 40 and the 50. The 40 and 50. And then I'll take my ruler and I'll connect that 45-degree little tick mark down to the end point. And I'm done. And it makes a triangle. I'm 90, 45, 45. So you're only graphing plotting two of the angles because the third angle will always be that other measure. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to do this one. I want you to try it on your own. So you're going to start with your 75-degree angle first. Okay, so you're going to put it on there and you're going to do your 75. $65 is halfway between 60 and 70. Yep. You're super speedy. All right, so if you haven't already, you should have done your 75 first. So 75 is halfway between 70 and 80. So right there is my 75. And then you connect it. We'll sharpen it. Now, on the next angle, if Raymond decides to graph the 65 and then Emery decides to graph the 40, it doesn't matter, okay? It does not matter which angle you graph second. Only matters which angle you graph first, okay, or you plot first.
What if I remember?
That's fine. All right, so we're going to take a vote here. How many graph 65 next? All right, so it looks like we'll do 65 next. So I'm going to put my little point on here. I'm going to line up my line. And I'm going to graph 65. Remember, when you're coming on that second point, you're going to go to 65, which is halfway between 60 and 70. Okay, halfway between 60 and 70. So right here is my 65. Okay, right there is my 65, halfway between 60 and 70.
Oh, you need that 65. I think you meant like.
And then I'll connect those. And I'm done. So this was my 75, my 65, which means that one's the 40.
Wait, 65?
So remember, look on here. I told you if you're counting from this side, you count at the bottom row. But if you're counting from this side, you're counting from the top row. What, Jonathan? Just a second. I'm getting ready to go over a new problem. All right. We're going to look at number 6. Number 6 is just a little bit different because they tell you how long to make the line segment. So it says a triangle ABC, Raymond, where the measure of angle A is 30 and the measure of angle B is 80. And the length of AB is 6 centimeters. So they're telling you that the line segment that you're making must be 6 centimeters long. So if you don't know this, at the bottom of your protractor is a ruler, obviously, and 6 centimeters. An inch has 10 centimeters. So when I go to put 6 centimeters on here, look at the board. Look at the board. Here's 0, 1, 2. I can't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's, why can I not count here? Oh gosh. I'm trying to put 6 centimeters on there.
Oh, I see it.
I just said there's, oh my God, I'm a dingle.
Do you need help?
Do it again.
No. I just said that wrong. There's 10 millimeters in an inch.
Yes.
There's 10 millimeters in an inch. 6 centimeters, there's 2.3 centimeters in an inch.
What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
I'll have to Google that. Okay, our ruler doesn't have centimeters on it. Okay? But it has inches. So that's 6 inches. That's 6 inches, which is not 6 centimeters. So 6 centimeters, okay, in 1 inch, and I'm going to double check this real quick, but in 1 inch, 1 inch is how many centimeters? And there are 2.5 centimeters in 1 inch. Okay, so 2.5 centimeters. So that would be 2.5, right? Because I said that 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So that means that 6 centimeters, Raymond, 6 centimeters, this would be 2.5. This would be 5 centimeters. So 6 centimeters would be just a little bit more. So that would be like 6 centimeters right there. So I'm going to draw a line segment that's that long. So a little over 2. Okay? Because we said 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So 6 centimeters, that's 1 inch, 2 inch, just a little bit over 2 inches is 6 centimeters. So draw a line segment that's that long. Huh? I don't think I have enough regular rulers for everybody.
I do. My back hurts.
I know. All right, let's measure. Hey, look, I'm almost spot on. No, I'm almost spot on there. Okay, shh. All right, so this one, they only give you 2 angles. So this is A and B. So angle A is 30, angle B is 80. So I want you all to take your protractor and I want you to put angle A on there. So what did we say angle A was? 30. So why don't you all put 30 degrees on angle A? I said put 30 degrees on angle A. So on angle A, you should be putting 30, a degree of 30. So there's 30. I'm going to connect it. All right. And then on B, you should be putting 80. So on B, you should be putting 80. I said if you measure over here, Gomez, look, if you measure here, you start at the bottom. But if you measure on this side, you're counting from the top. It does. Here's 80. You might just have to make your line a little bit longer. You might just have to make your line just a little bit longer. So there's 80. And I can just extend this line a little bit. And there's my triangle. So this one was 30. And this one was 80. So what should this one be? Let's see if anybody's been listening. 70.
Let's go.
All right. So once again, on this other one, they tell you that AB is 6 centimeters. So remember I said 6 centimeters, just a little bit more than 2. All right. So I want you to draw that on there. So it's just a little bit more than 2. And then I want you to put angle A is 40 and angle B is 60. Andy? Well, look at the label. See, it says I put AB because they told us that line segment's AB. So A is 40. So you'll put 40 on the A and 60 on the B. Yeah, because that's what it tells me, that the measure of angle A is 40.
The 40 on the bottom? Or the 40 on top?
If we're going from this side over here, then we use the bottom.
Okay.
And 60 on the other one?
Yep. What?
Wait, from A to B, what, I don't know.
Remember, I just told you that 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters, so just a little bit more than 2 is 6 centimeters. I told us that twice. All right, so I'm going to put that the measure of angle A. The measure of angle A is 40. So I'm going to go right here to 40. And then I'm going to draw a line to go on my 40 there. So that's my 40 degrees for my measure of angle A. And then I'm going to go put my protractor on B. And B is 60. So I measure at the top. So 60 is right here. And then I connect them. And that one's 60. Hey guys, what would that mean this one is?
70, 40.
80, because it's 180 degrees. All right. In this space down here, you're going to do one more. Okay, in this space down here, I'm going to say AB is 2 inches. Okay, angle A is 70 degrees and angle B is 25 degrees. So I want you to do that one down here. Just that empty spot. So you're going to first take this and you're going to measure 2 inches. You measure 2 inches for your AB. Measure 2 inches for your AB.
I already did something down there.
Okay, well, that's not my problem. Get another piece of paper. Wow.
Let me do it like that.
Okay, I don't care. Just do it.
Okay.
Shh.
Why are we doing first?
If he's being bad, just talk about it.
So you should be drawing A at 70 and B at 25. No, we're not. We have 3 more minutes.
What?
Halfway between 20 and 30. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my A is 70 on there. So there's 70. So I'm going to connect my 70 to my A. And then B is 25. So I'll put it on the other point. 25 is halfway between 20 and 30. So right there. And I'll connect those. And I'm done. Please pass your protractors up your row. I'll get them. You do need to bring these notes back with you tomorrow.